is Valley News Live at 10.
Scary moments for a Grand Forks woman on her way home. Tonight, she's sharing her story of witnessing road rage in hopes that you won't have to go through the same thing. While most cases are reported, rarely are they captured on camera. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockie has this exclusive story.
Dora Minnie says she was driving on South Washington Street when she noticed something strange.
I saw a car kind of speeding like crazy, and I thought it was a dog out of the moonroof, and it was actually him hanging out of the moonroof driving.
She followed the car for several blocks from Rydell Chevrolet all the way to Starbucks.
He was like bumper to bumper with another car.
When they stopped at a red light, she says things escalated fast. Out of fear, Minnie says she pulled out her phone and started recording. You can see in the video a man hanging out the window, cursing and yelling at a woman to roll down her window.
To be on the street with him, that was scary enough. I can't imagine what the lady was feeling.
Minnie says seconds later, the man zipped through the red light. We aren't showing his face because he hasn't been charged.
Don't roll down your window, don't exit your vehicle, don't engage. Lock your doors, call 911.
Derek Zimmel with the Grand Forks Police says that road rage is dangerous because it can escalate. And before you go honking your horn and shaking your fist, keep this in mind.
It could be something as common as disorderly conduct. It could escalate from there to felony level charges.
Zimmel says they don't encourage you to pick up the phone behind the wheel, but in situations like this, they'll make an exception. In Grand Forks, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
The woman in this case says she didn't report the matter to police because she didn't get a license number. Police say even if you don't get a license plate number, it's still a good idea to report a description of the person and the vehicle either during or after the incident. It's early in the year and there's word tonight of a second round of layoffs at Case New Holland in Fargo. While we knew the first ones were coming in January, today's permanent job cuts were somewhat of a surprise. Valley News Team's Alexandra Kay joins us in the studio with details and reaction. Alexandra?
Mike, employees walked into work today to a notice posted saying that 35 workers will be permanently laid off starting March 23rd. Layoffs are nothing new for Case New Holland. 35 employees were permanently laid off in January. Over 400 workers at CNH are part of a workers' union. A union rep told me that many have been working overtime this week, only to find out the layoffs today. The layoffs were a surprise to the workers and union leaders as well. The union representative explained that they have lost 52 plants within the last 3 years in the territory, and that they worry about this kind of thing happening more often. At this point, the union is focused on those here who are impacted.
Our heartfelt sympathy goes out to everyone that's going to be affected by this layoff, because it isn't just the individual worker that's going to be affected. It's going to be their families. It's going to be their communities. We're going to do everything that we can to be there for them throughout the process.
Many of the people I spoke with as they were leaving the plant told me that the people impacted are the newest employees and that there is a chance that they may be rehired. All of this is being blamed on a downturn in the farm economy and the current need for new farm machinery. Mike.
All right, thanks, Alexandra. We reached out to Case New Holland for comments, but we haven't yet heard back. Crime statistics are out for last year in Grand Forks County. The most notable jump was in calls for a suspicious person or activity, increasing by almost 300%. There was also an increase in the alarm activation calls. Deputies also served more warrants than were issued by the courts, and 1,000 more warrants were served in 2018. UND's student newspaper issued an apology this afternoon after intense backlash on social media regarding one of its most recent articles about this year's Super Bowl halftime show and rape. One paragraph reads that in part, we wonder why there is so much rape and sex trafficking going on nowadays. Well, when we decrease the values of our bodies by wearing few clothes, we are telling society that it's acceptable to view women as just a piece of meat.
It's disrespectful to human trafficking victims, and it's disrespectful to rape and assault victims. Like, it is just very demeaning to anything that anyone's ever gone through regarding that.
The Dakota Student released an apology on their Facebook page this afternoon, along with the one from the writer of the article, who says, in part, I realize now that my wording about rape and sex trafficking was inappropriate and hurtful. and I apologize to anyone that I may have hurt by this. If you'd like to read the full apology, go to our Valley News Live app. Firefighters battling a stubborn fire that has been burning for days at a metal recycling plant in a small Minnesota community have the blaze under control. The fire at the Northern Metals plant in Becker has been belching noxious, billowing smoke since it began Tuesday morning. The cause of the fire remains unknown. Authorities say no one has been reported hospitalized because of the fumes. No firefighters have been hurt. Leaders of the Minnesota Senate's GOP majority have proposed giving the state's projected $1.3 billion budget surplus back to taxpayers. They unveiled a package of income and other permanent tax cuts today. Senate Tax Committee Chairman Roger Chamberlain predicted that Democrats would hate it, and he was right. Leaders of the House Democratic majority quickly denounced the plan as fiscally irresponsible. House Speaker Melissa Hortman says it would undermine the state's ability to provide good schools, good roads, and good health care. St. Paul's police chief made it his New Year's resolution, and today Todd Axtell and a group of Minnesota lawmakers called for the removal of all references to slavery and involuntary servitude from the Minnesota Constitution. The part of that specifically wanted to be changed says there shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in the state otherwise than a punishment for a crime of which the party has been convicted. And the proposed amendment would remove the clause otherwise than as punishment for a crime of which the party has been convicted.
Knowing that every New Year's Eve I create a new resolution and it never works. I talk about working harder, exercising more, losing weight, and here I am, and I haven't lost any weight. So this is something that I had hoped that the state could really get behind and make a change, make a resolution that is actually achievable.
The removal would require putting a constitutional amendment on the Minnesota ballot in November. The authors say that they're optimistic that they would have enough votes to do that. Farming has long been one of the country's most dangerous professions. Federal statistics say that farmers are 800% more likely to die on the job than other workers. But the death of Landon Gran has one Minnesota mom and a grieving community saying enough. She testified for Landon's Law that would provide $500,000 in grants for farmers for grain bin safety equipment.
I don't want his death to be in vain. We have to make changes to farming. Safety measures are so important.
Growing up, you talk to farmers, everybody knows somebody. And it's almost come as a fact of life, and I don't think that it needs to be.
There have been at least 8 grain bin related deaths in Minnesota since last June. In Polk County, the Sheriff's Department has a new canine. Buffy is a 3-year-old Belgian Malinois Shepherd mix. Both Buffy and the canine handler training needed were donated by an Anoka, Minnesota business that specializes in canines. Buffy and her new handler, Deputy Kyle Olson, will start their training once they get to know each other.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
A pretty quiet look from our Luther Family Ford Skycam. Things moving along nicely along I-29 as that sun and high pressure has been the rule of order today, and I expect tomorrow to be pretty much the same, if not even warmer, as we head through the last day of the work week. 13, the current air temperature at Fargo's airport. It does feel like a -2 when you factor in a little bit of that south wind, but that south wind will keep our temperatures fairly steady as we go through the night, if not rise a couple degrees by the time we wake up to start off our Friday morning. 9 degrees right now at the Moorhead Airport. Temperature still holding on to 24 degrees in Sisseton, still 20 in Devil's Lake is 2 of the warmer spots, but for the rest of us, we're in the lower teens with Wadena at 9 as the coldest spot. Factoring the bit of a breeze out of the south, wind chills in the negative single digits for the cool spots in Minnesota. Still only a 7-degree wind chill in Devil's Lake where that air temperature is a bit warmer. High pressure is in charge. So plenty of clear sky from Winnipeg all the way down to Sioux Falls. I expect the same story for us tomorrow with high pressure as the main factor for us. But look at this. This system actually brought some snowfall to northern South Carolina and North Carolina. I saw some beautiful pictures from Raleigh of some snow-covered landscape there. So not often do you see some snow moving into the Columbia, South Carolina area. So we'll see some more pictures probably out and about tomorrow. But the south wind for our hour by hour closer to home will keep our temperatures fairly steady from here on out toward that 7:30 a.m. hour. We will see by 7:30 a.m. a few spots get a bit warmer by the time the sun rises tomorrow. West winds will be a bit breezy in some spots, but that will also bring some of the warmer air in from western North Dakota. Temperatures in the middle teens to low 20s to start the day. And by lunchtime, with some sunshine aplenty, look at this, middle 20s to upper 20s, even low 30s by lunchtime tomorrow under plenty of sun. So not looking too bad at all for your Friday. Temperatures topping out in the lower to middle 30s for everybody, with the best chance of those middle 30s toward the south and west of the James River Valley. So the Jamestown, Ellendale areas, the best chance at seeing mid-30s. Here in Fargo, starting off 12 degrees above zero. So a nice change from where we were this morning. Warming quickly to the low 20s by the 10 a.m. hour, and with the west winds around 10 miles per hour through the day, that will bring in some warmer air. Coupled with the sunshine, have the sunglasses handy. Lower 30s here in Fargo for that high temperature. And then even with clear skies tomorrow, the southwest winds will keep us a bit more mild tomorrow night as well. Here's your hometown forecast. Sunglasses for everybody. Lower to middle 30s for those highs. And look at this beautiful photo of the day, a cold coyote from Barbie. Thanks so much for uploading this to ValleyNewsLive.com. And in that two-day planner, we will see those 30s for tomorrow, mid to upper 30s for Saturday. Could see a low 40 in the warm spots on Saturday. So I'm not saying to not break the grill out, but I'm also not saying to not break the grill out there for Saturday with plenty of sun. High pressure and sunshine remains for Sunday, a bit cooler as we head toward the first part of next week. We are watching the potential for some flurries in a few spots on Tuesday. The system we've been watching since early this week moves south, and that southward track actually brings some colder air in for middle week, but the weekend, Mike, looks great.
I say grill.
You know what? I'll have to agree.
All right.
Dust the snow off of there.
Okay. Up next on Valley News Live 10 at 10, why the VA is dragging its feet, prescribing 4 paws to vets and what Congress can do about it.